Students, am I audible for you all now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prabhakar, Roshan, Akarsh,
Yes,
uh,
ma'am.
newcomers. Yeah. So today I'll give you the brief introduction about this primary health care, and it will be continued for tomorrow also. Uh, so to say that what is the meaning or the concept of this primary health care? See, nowadays we have come out with the concept of universal. Just a second. Okay. If we look at the healthcare system in India, how the healthcare is delivered to the people. So it can be delivered through public sector, or it can be provided through private sector, or through indigenous system, or through voluntary organizations, or by the means of national health programs. So these are the different ways how the health care is delivered to the people of the India. So what are the different sectors? One is public sector, private sector, indigenous, then voluntary, that is all these NGOs and all are involved here, then national health programs. Now if you see generally our Indian healthcare system, it falls under mixed group. So if a question is asked like what type of healthcare system is India's, it is a mixed group. That means what? Both public means what? Government. So government is also providing healthcare service. Just a second. So are you all getting the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So mixed, our India falls under the category of the mixed healthcare system. That means what? The healthcare is provided or the health service is provided to the people by means or with the help of government and the private sectors. So as we all know that there are government hospitals and private hospitals together, they serve the people of India in providing the healthcare. And if you see generally a classification for that, healthcare is given by public sector or the government, and under this we have got primary healthcare. Then after that we have got hospital and further higher level of healthcare. Then after this other types are health insurance like ESI hospitals. Then healthcare is provided by the railways and defense system. So all these are the healthcare service provided by the government of India. So it can be provided by state or it can be provided by the central. Yes. Then under the private, we have got private hospitals. Then after that, voluntary organizations, all these Rotary Club and many other NGOs are there. So they'll be providing the healthcare services through the funds which they have accumulated. Then indigenous system. So what is this indigenous system? It is Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy. That is Ayush system. So
Ayush.
all this will provide the healthcare for the Indian people. But students, tomorrow I will anyway discuss the various committees also. So if you see that Boer committee. So what is this Boer committee? Can anybody tell me? So this was the healthcare committee, Boer committee. It was in healthcare committee, and it was basically planned for the healthcare system and development. And this particular committee was developed pre-independence era. Just remember this, pre-independence era. So during this pre-independence era, in the year 1943, remember this, in the year 1943, the British government, they have observed that lot and lot of epidemic outbreaks were happening in India, and they wanted to know what is the situation of health in India. So to understand that and what remedy measures can be provided for that, so the British government has appointed a committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Bohr. Mr. Bohr in the year 1943. Now, after 3 years, that is in 1946, Bohr has come out with certain recommendations. Yes, and what is the recommendation of the Bohr? Can anybody tell me? It is first recommend is he said that every
National
yeah, tell me.
Training.
NRH.
Not NRHM. NRHM and all are recent concepts actually. So Bohr said that he has given the concept of comprehensive healthcare. What is this comprehensive healthcare? So he is the person who has given the concept of comprehensive healthcare. What is this comprehensive healthcare? Just listen to the words what I am saying. It is a provision of It is a provision of preventive, promotive. It is a provision of, just a second, I think some students have joined. Yeah. So it is a provision of preventive, promotive, then curative and rehabilitative healthcare services from womb to tomb. Just remember students, womb to tomb. So that means since the time of conception at the birth, since the baby is in the womb of, or the uterus of the mother till the death of that individual, we need to monitor the individual and provide the required preventive care. That is, all the vaccination or any immunization is required, all the preventive services, promotive services, then any curative, if any problem has occurred, then provide medicines for that. Then rehabilitation, any limb or anything has been amputated, then restore the function with the help of a artificial limb. So all these types of services together has to be provided from womb to tomb in a defined geographic area, because an MCQ has been asked from this comprehensive healthcare. Prabhakar, Roshan and all others, have you anytime encountered the MCQ related to this comprehensive healthcare? Akash?
No, ma'am.
Okay, because
Yes,
already
ma'am.
question has been asked, just be very careful. If you go through your papers, you will come to know. So comprehensive healthcare is nothing but a combination of preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative healthcare services provided to the individual from womb to tomb. From womb to tomb means since the baby is in the uterus of the mother till the death of the individual in the defined geographic area, we need to provide all these types of services. And this concept was given by whom? Mr. Bohr. And when was this particular what concept was put
46.
forward? In the year 1946. And apart from this comprehensive healthcare, the Bohr Committee also said that, just go listen to this, Bohr Committee. So one is comprehensive healthcare. Then after that, it also spoken about the provision of primary healthcare. That is the essential healthcare. Yes. What all healthcare services come under essential healthcare? Can you say that any valve replacement? Like, is it essential healthcare? No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Immunization, yes, it is an essential healthcare. So, what Bohr has meant to say that provide all the essential healthcare services, and those services should be how it should be. It should be easily available, affordable, and acceptable to the people. So this concept Bohr has said, and Bohr has said that this primary healthcare should be delivered through which one? Primary health center. So this care, that is essential healthcare service, it should be what it should be served through which one? Health centers. And he said that one primary health center should serve how much? 40,000 population. So this is what is the norm Bohr has given. Just a second. Yeah. So these are the general things which Bohr has said. And one more thing is that Bohr has said that all the health services to be provided in India should be of allopathic. Allopathic. And he said that no need of this Ayush system, that is Ayurveda, Siddha and all, it is not at all required for the Indian population. So these are the recommendation given by the Bohr committee. So further details I'll be taking it in the next session. So this is a basic healthcare what system that is adopted in India. Now later what happened in 1978? In the year 1978, at Alma Ata, it is a place. At the Alma Ata in 1978, a conference was held, an international conference was held, and in this international conference, what it was decided that health for all by 2000 AD. So this conference, which was held in Alma Ata, that is, which is presented to USSR. So in this place, an international conference was held, and the members they have all decided that we need to achieve the health for all. So every individual should lead a healthy life by the year 2000. Now to achieve this particular goal, what is required? We need what? Primary health care. That is, we need to provide all the essential healthcare service to the people. Then only we can achieve this health for all. So this was a concept. Now in this Alma Ata, they said that yes, we can go ahead with the what this health for all, provided that we need to implement this primary health care, and they have defined this primary health care also. So they have defined saying that it is an essential healthcare, so which is what easily available, accessible, and affordable to all the people. So this is the how this primary healthcare concept took its origin. Now, if you see at the public level, now we are only focusing on healthcare service provided by the government of India, that is by the public. So, at public level, the healthcare is provided at the three levels. One is primary level, another is secondary level, which is little bit advanced level, and at the tertiary level. Now, same thing I will depict it in the form of a triangle. So, just look at this triangle. The base of the triangle, it involves primary level. So that is in this level, all the primary healthcare service, that is all the essential healthcare service are provided. That is example is vaccination or immunization, then mother and child health, then after that safe water and environment. So these are all the and provision of the essential drugs. So and what advice on the nutrition. So these are all the basic essential healthcare services which are provided at the primary level. Now at primary level, to provide this primary healthcare, so what is required? So the government has set up a primary health center, and below this primary health center there is sub center. All of you are getting this,
Yes, ma'am.
students? All of you are getting this concept? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we are getting.
Yeah. So at the primary level, we have got the bottom part is occupied by the sub center. So that is the lowest most. And above the sub center, there is primary health center. So in these two sections, this primary healthcare is provided. That is essential healthcare. This is what we have to remember. And if you go little bit above, here if treatment is not possible, then the person can be referred to which one? Then the
Yes.
person can be referred to community health center. Individual can be referred to which one? Community health center. Now very important is that in this community health center, who are there? So community health center, the specialist services available. That is here we have got MD, the people or the doctors who have done the specialty course, that is MD or MS or even DGO are also available here. And remember, there are no doctors at sub center. This is a very very important point, because in MCQ they can ask you at sub center doctor is present or no. So it's a logic that there are no doctors present at the sub center. It is run by all these healthcare workers. So it is run by the male and female healthcare workers. They will only just take care of the sub center. Whereas if you go to PHC, who is present? MBBS doctor. So in PHC, one MBBS doctor is present, and he is referred to as medical officer at the PHC, right? And when we go to the community health center, that is CHC, here the specialist care is present. Like pediatrician will be present, gynecologist will be present, surgeon will be present, then ophthalmologist. So different specialty people are present in this community health center. And if the service is not they are not able to provide the service even at this level, then the patient can be referred to which one, students? That is a tertiary level, where our all big hospitals are present, like AIMS and the district level hospitals. All these are present at the tertiary level. Here specialty and super specialty care is available at the tertiary level. Now look at we will just look at the rural healthcare system in India. Now to give you one idea over here, if you see the healthcare system, this healthcare system has been broadly categorized into urban healthcare system and rural healthcare system. Yes, in urban
Yes.
healthcare also we have got three levels. That is primary level, then we have got secondary level, then we have got tertiary level. This classification just keep it in your mind. And rural healthcare also we have got same thing. Primary level, then we have got secondary level, then we have got which one? Tertiary level. Now students, one very important thing I want to tell you is that in urban healthcare system, no sub centers are present. No sub centers. Whereas in rural healthcare system, there are sub centers are present, and we have also got primary health center. But in urban primary level, we have got only urban primary health center. We call it as which one, students? Urban PHC. Any of you have seen this urban PHC in your places?
Yes, ma'am.
Students? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. My father is medical officer there.
Okay. Who may I know your good name?
Prabhakar.
Very good. Fine. So, like in urban health center, urban this one primary level. So we have got urban primary health center. Your father is posted in primary health center or CHC, Prabhakar?
Urban
Prabhakar,
PHC. Urban
PHC.
PHC.
Urban PHC. Very good. So this urban PHC, so it is present in the primary level of the urban health center. Now, can you tell me, like this urban health center, that is, it is established under which one? It was established under the National Urban Health Mission. National Urban Health Mission. Now, this National Urban Health Mission is under which one? National Health Mission. So, in the year 2005, then later it has been modified into this one, this National Rural Health Mission. So it was actually started in the year 2005. Then in 2013, what happened? This National Rural Health Mission, it was stopped and it was renamed as National Health Mission. And this National Health Mission, it has got two components. One is urban component, another is rural component. Yes, National Rural Health Mission. In the urban component, we have got all this urban primary health center and urban community health center. Yes. Next, in the urban, then again at the secondary level, we have got which one? Urban Community Health Center. Then tertiary level, all these district level hospitals are present. Super specialty hospitals are also included. Now, rural, again, we have got community health centers, then subdivision health centers or district hospitals are present. Then tertiary level, all these super specialty hospitals and specialty care hospitals are present. Yes. Now, in the rural area, the primary health center, if you see, and primary sub centers, they are divided again into two types, like based on the population norms. If it is a plain area and if it is a hilly or tribal area, one sub center, remember this, these are the numbers of which are very important. One sub center, it serves for 5,000 people if it is a plain area, that is normal plains. And if it is a hilly area or if it is a tribal area, then one subcenter will serve how many people? It serves
3,000.
3,000 people. Then primary health center, that is PHC, in the plain area, it serves how much? How many people? 30,000 people. Whereas the primary health center in the hilly area, it serves how many people? 20,000 people. Whereas community health center, that is CHC, it serves 1,20,000 people in plain area, and whereas it serves 80,000 people in the hilly area. Just remember, in subcenter the numbers are in thousands. Like question or MCQ can be asked for you. Subcenter, one subcenter serves how many people? So don't look for all this which is in the 10,000 or lakhs. It is of no use. It serves only within 5,000. So if it is a plain area 5,000, hilly area 3,000. And whereas primary health center, it serves anything the number more than 10,000, that is 30,000 in primary, and anything the number is less, that is 20,000 in the hilly area. So community health center, it has got more specialists. So it serves more people, that is 1,20,000 in plain and 80,000 in hilly area. Because many questions has been asked in this particular section itself. So, as I have already told you that primary healthcare, this concept was finally accepted at the Alma Ata conference. Alma Ata is nothing but a place at USSR. There in that conference in the year 1978, this concept has been accepted. So, where it is said that it is an essential healthcare and it should be acceptable, which is that is culturally acceptable and socially acceptable to the regional people, and it should be accessible. What do you mean by accessibility? Like if there is a health center, if there is a health center and the people are living somewhere in this area, and the distance between the health center and the people is maybe some 20 kilometers, Do you think that it is an accessible? No. So that means what? Any health center, if you want to create, it should be very much close to the people. It should be very much close to the people. Then we say that it is an accessible health center. Then after that, it should be available. Available means what? The health center, it should have some stipulated times, like maybe 9 to 5, or it can be 24 into 7 health center. So it should be available. And availability not only says that only building is available, it says that availability of the staff also. Like any health center, it should have a doctor or the paramedical staff, so they should be available to the people. And affordable, what do you mean by affordable? So affordable means what? Whatever the drugs are there and whatever the treatment we provide, especially the oral rehydration therapy. So instead of giving the saline and other hospitalization for the dehydration patients, we can just give this ORS sachet, and we can ask the people to use that, so that it is the best method which will be what affordable for the people. So any health service that is provided in the primary health care, it should be acceptable, and it should be very much accessible, and it should be available in terms of the timings and in terms of the staff, and it should be affordable also. So for example, I'll give you one example here. Uh, what is this KMC?
Kangaru Mother Care, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. So where it is like advisable KMC? KMC is advisable where? So what happens is like if at all preterm delivery, if the baby is like premature baby, then what happens? We need to put that child in which one? We need to give a warm temperature, that is in the incubators. And if you go to the PHC or even in the sub centers, all these facilities are not available. We don't even have the incubators or all those higher end facilities. Now what we do? We advise the mother to hold the baby in her arms, or to keep the baby in very in close body touch to the mother, so that it will get the what temperature exchange from the mother itself. So the baby will be always under the warmer temperature by keeping it close touch with the mother of the body of the mother. So it is something like kangaroo. If you see how it will be, so kangaroo, this animal how it will be, so it will be having a pouch. In this pouch baby will be there, and this baby will be always in touch with the mother's body. So always it will be getting that warmness from the mother, right? So till the baby gets recovered, or proper health conditions comes under the stable levels, till then this particular KMC management has to be done. And this we call it as what? Affordable healthcare. So it is also an example for affordable healthcare under primary healthcare. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, many MCQs are being asked for you, like what are the elements or components of primary healthcare? Like what all things are provided in this primary healthcare? So there are totally 8 things are there. Just keep this in your mind. So how many components or things that are provided in primary healthcare? 8 things are there. So first and foremost, that is essential drug. So if you anybody goes to primary health center, so they should be getting these essential drugs. What are these essential drugs? Like in that region, most commonly occurring health problem we need to identify, and for that health problem, all the time the drug should be available. Yes. And whose duty it is? It is a duty of the medical officer. So this medical officer should always monitor, like yes, in my region these are the endemic problems, or my patients regularly come with the problem of fever or pyresis. So for that this drug is always required. And this essential drug list, if you see, the government of India has listed many essential drugs, and in that some 33 to 38 drugs as per the Indian public health standards. Lot of drugs are there. So in that very primary essential drugs, in that very important is paracetamol. This is a must drug. Yes. Apart
Yes.
from paracetamol, aspirin, then anti-helminthitic drugs, like which one? Can you name anyone anti-helminthic drug? That is
Albendazole.
albendazole. Excellent. So paracetamol, aspirin, albendazole, all these comes under the category of what? Essential drug. So tomorrow, if any one of you become a medical health officer or medical officer, you should be knowing that yes, in your primary health center, these drugs should be available all the time. 365 days it should be available. Then after that, your primary healthcare center should be able to provide treatment for the locally, this word is very important, locally endemic diseases. Like if at all UP, Bihar, all these places, which disease is endemic? Kala Azar. Yes, in Himalayan belt area, which disease is very much common? Goiter, that is iodine deficiency problems are very much prevalent. So in such endemic areas, so what we need to do, we need to provide the treatment for those relevant endemic diseases. And last time also I told you that in most of the coastal areas like in Gujarat and the coastal sections of India, filariasis is very much prevalent. So this one primary health centers located in those areas, they should have all the time the treatment available for this endemic diseases. Then next thing, your primary health center should provide the education. It is not the school education, student, it is a health education. We need to provide like how the cleanliness or hygiene has to be maintained. So all this education has to be provided in the primary health care. So who will provide this education, students? Do you think the medical officer? Yes, he can provide. Then who can provide? Who can provide,
Asha,
students?
Asha,
Asha, fine. Asha
Health
workers.
workers,
Then, yeah, tell me then.
village
Healthcare
health workers.
workers or multi-purpose healthcare workers. So all these people, they are like designated to provide what? Health education to the people. Then apart from that, this PHC also will provide maternal and child health care. That is, it provides a family planning services like vasectomy, tubectomy, all these procedures are conducted there. And it also provides the measures for contraception. So all this, because contraception is very much essential for the very much essential for the public. So this particular essential service is provided in PHC. Remember, PHC, this concept is nothing but essential healthcare. Essential means which is the utmost required. So these are all the services which are very much needed for the people. Then immunization, definitely any baby, to protect from the health problems, immunization is very much required. So all this national immunization schedule, all these programs will be provided by the PHC. And who is responsible for this? Again, medical officer. You guys in future, if you become medical officer, then make sure that in your health center, the what cold chain system and all this immunization is properly provided to the newborns. Then nutrition. Do you think food will be provided, meals will be provided in PHC? Students, nutrition related programs means what? Here they give the nutrition related advice. They said that yes, you need to take a balanced diet. What is a balanced diet? That is, if you take a proper proportion of the macronutrients, that is, you need to take carbohydrates, proteins and fats in the required proportions, so that what happens, it will take care of the health of the individual. So all this nutritional advice you need to provide for the patient. Yes. Have you all heard about this one, Jeevan Bindi program? Students, Jeevan Bindi program.
No,
no,
So,
no, ma'am.
because question can be asked for you. So this Jeevan Bindi program means what? For example, she is a lady. Just imagine, and she is what? This one reproductive age group. So this lady who is in the reproductive age group, that is 15 to 45 years. This lady we call it as what? A lady under the reproductive age group. Now for this lady, what happens when she becomes pregnant? So we need to, and if she is deficient of iodine, if she is deficient of iodine, then what we will do, we will give her a bindi. So usually Hindu ladies, what they do, they put bindi, right? So we give the bindi and we'll ask this lady to put this bindi. But the logic here is that in this bindi, just behind this bindi, what is present? Iodine is present. So iodine is present, and when this lady put this bindi, so the iodine present in the bindi will come in contact or in touch with the skin of the forehead. Now this bindi containing iodine, this iodine, it will slowly diffuse into the skin, and it will get into the circulation, and it will meet the iodine requirements of the body for this pregnant female. And this particular program Initially, not much acceptance was there. Later, it has become successful, especially in the state of Maharashtra, especially in Nagpur especially in Nagpur. So all this nutrition related advice or nutrition related programs, it can be taken care by which one students? By the primary health center. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then remember this Jivan Bindi program is not a government led program. Our government is not doing this program. It is led by the NGO, non government organization. Because again, a question can be asked for you. Jivan Bindi program. It is for iron deficiency management and it was started by NGO, non government organization. And it can be again, we can go to the PHC and we can ask the doctor to provide these bindis to these pregnant ladies. Then after that, one more important function of the, component of PHC is treatment of common diseases. Like most of the communicable diseases or infectious diseases, they are treated like dengue, malaria, chikungunya, filariasis. All these diseases are treated at PHC. Then provision of safe water supply and sanitation. So this is also one of the important component of which one? Students, PHC. Then what are the principles of PHC? If you want to run a PHC, then what important principles requires? So very important and many times MCQ has been asked on this. One is equitable distribution. If you want to provide a essential health care or primary health care to the people, there should be no caste, no sex, or no geographic or no economic differentiation should be done. So all the essential healthcare services should be provided to the people equally, irrespective of their caste, irrespective of their economic status, or irrespective of the sex, that is male and female, irrespective of the geographic location, that is urban, rural, or semi-urban, or irrespective of the which one economic status or any other parameter, right? Now, students, here only I want to clarify one more thing. What is the difference between sex and gender? What is the difference between sex and gender? Students, um, newcomers, Prabhakar, Roshan, Akarsh, and others also. Can you tell me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll only
ma'am.
tell you. So the difference between sex and gender, very important because you should know the difference between these terms. Sex is used only to describe the anatomical nature of the person. So if you want to describe the individual based on the anatomical parts or the nature of the person, then you use the word sex, that is male sex or female sex. How it is said, described, it is based on the anatomical description. We call the person as a male sex or female sex. Then gender means what? It is a role played by the individual in the society. Like for example, male will be there anatomically, he is a male. Yes, but if he changes his character and starts behaving or pretending like a female, then he will be called as what? Female gender. He will be called as what? Female gender. So now, here a female, if she tries to act in a society like a male, then it will be called as what? Male gender. So gender is what? It is the role or the character played by the individual in the society, whereas sex is the true nature of the individual, right? Do you all agree
Yes,
with this?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So equitable distribution of the primary healthcare means no differentiation. Everybody should be treated equally. Then community participation. What do you mean by community participation? So if you want to conduct any program, government said that I myself cannot conduct the program just like that. It requires everybody cooperation. So what happened last time also I told you, during Indira Gandhi government. So what happened? She, under her governance, she has provided free latrines to all the whom? The rural people of India. Then what happened, since our people are not used to all this, our people are very much used for the open defecation, nobody accepted it and nobody participated also in using those free latrines, even though they are free of cost. Everybody started using for open defecation, and people also got angry like why this government has provided this, and her government she lost in the election because mainly of this particular thing. That means what? The community participation is people should also understand the importance of this. Like even any program is started, it should also equally participate, then only it will be successful. A very important example I want to give you here is Swajaldar program. Have you all heard about this Swajaldar program, students? Now we are running
Yes.
this Swajaldar 2, Swajaldar 1 and Swajaldar 2. Swajaldar means what? Water related program. Yes. Now what government has said that, for example, village is there. Okay, now village wants a water source. Now village want what, students? Water source, drinking water source. Now the village head will be there and village people will be there. All of them will make a meeting and they will say that we will dig a tank or a well and we need to maintain the sanitation or the hygiene. See that no animal passes what uses this well or tank, or no human defecation or human contamination should be done, and it should be regularly chlorinated. So all the proper measures, and it should be always covered, fencing should be done. So all these things should be done. So like village people are also actively participating. And for this government, what government can do, students? Government will provide what? Funds. Government says that okay, I will give the required money for you, and you people only go dig the well, go dig the pond, and you yourself create the water source and make sure that you will only maintain that. So that is what is called as Swajaldar program. It is a very best example for what, students? Community participation. Yes. Are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
all clear? Then, appropriate technology. So, whatever the PHC primary health care we are providing, we need to see that it should be technology should be appropriate. So, for example, I want to give you about the breastfeeding only. So, breastfeeding is there, and there is a formula feeding. What is there? Formula feeding. Now, look at this. Breastfeeding is very cheap, right? And formula feeding, even the technologically it is advanced. Lot many things are artificially added to the what milk component, but it is what? Expensive. Do you all agree with the students?
Yes, ma'am.
It is expensive. And very important is that whatever the things that are naturally available in the breast milk, those things are not present equally in the formula milk. I will discuss about all this in the nutrition chapter. So there every details I'll give you. Just remember here. So it is nutritionally very, very much superior as compared to that of the formula fed. And it is like very much easy and convenient for the mother to provide. And formula fed means you need to go to the shop, you need to check for its availability. So lot many practical problems are there. Now, as a health
Bond is
officer,
found, ma'am.
yeah.
Bond is also found.
The bond is also found. Very good. So because all those oxytocin, all those affectionate, all those things will be there. So bond is also developed, and children who are there, no, because breastfed breast milk has got certain components. I'll tell you later. So which will help in the neurological development. That is myelination of the
Yes,
uh,
sir.
what
Omega.
of the nervous system. So it will help in the development of the brain, and it will improve the what? IQ level and the maturity, brain maturity of the child as compared to that of formula milk. Now you tell me which is better as a medical officer, which one will you advise? Breast
Breast
milk.
milk.
Breastfeeding.
So always we need to advise breast milk. 0 to 6 months, no need to give even a drop of water. Whereas in developed countries or in the Western world, it is 0 to 4 months breastfeeding is advised. Whereas in developing countries like India and underdeveloped nations, at least till 6 months we need to provide. So this is one example for appropriate technology. Like we need to weigh, we need to choose which is better and which is okay. Then after that, intersectorial coordination. Intersectorial coordination means what? Best example is milk pasteurization. Milk pasteurization. Now to pasteurize a milk, do you think that in a primary health center, as a doctor, can you do the pasteurization? No, right?
No, ma'am.
So what we need? We need what? We need what? Dairy department, like milk factory. So there the pasteurization at the mass scale will be done. And then we need which one? We need the government also, public sector, the funding, finance department, because a lot of money is required. Then we need to cooperate with the animal husbandry also, or the veterinary department, because all those milk is obtained from what? Cow, buffalo, all those. So we need to take care of the health of those animals also. If they are only infected with all those bovine, mycobacteria and other animal related diseases, then it will be dangerous, right? So every sector, multiple health, departments are involved to provide the health for the humans. Yes, so it is a link. So intersectoral coordination, it is also one of the principle of what? Primary health care. Then one more thing, students, they recently added a principle of primary healthcare is focus on prevention. Now remember, if any recent MCQ is asked, which of the following is a principle of primary healthcare? Like some other nonsense question options will be given. So apart from all this, if at all there is a focus on prevention, then yes, say that it is also one of the recently added principle of which one, student? Primary health care. So all your textbooks, they mention 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one is which one? Focus on prevention. And here it basically talks about immunization. Yes. Next, what are the advantages of the primary health care? Now, students, remember here, if we are able to provide all this essential health care, like all the vaccination, proper food, and immediate like management from the infectious disease, then what will happen? This person will become what? Strong and healthy. Now, what will happen? This strong and healthy person can do lot of productive work, right? Lot of productive work. So, for example, if you're having a fever or headache or any like a disturbance in your health system, then we will feel uneasy and that day will be wasted. We can't study, we can't do any other good work also. So, what happens? Productivity will be reduced. Yes, but if the same thing, if you're very much like healthy and strong, then your capacity of the work will be very much high. So a strong healthy person, productivity will be more, and this productivity of the many healthy people leads to a healthy and very progressive nation. Yes, then our
Yes.
India will become what? Very strong. Yes or no?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that is the reason why this primary healthcare has been focused and it has been stressed a lot. Please provide very, very basic health services so that individual doesn't land up into higher health problems. So here at the root level only you cut off all the health issues so that he'll be very nice healthy person, both physically, mentally, and spiritually and vocationally in all dimensions he will be healthy, so that this will ultimately contribute for which one, students? Economic development of the nation. If in India all are sick people, means what will happen? Then our country will never progress only. We'll be always coughing, sneezing, and we'll be dying only. So to avoid that, primary health care is one of the very important thing. Now, what is a recent concept is universal health coverage. All of you heard about this one? UHC. So
Yes, ma'am.
tomorrow I'll discuss in detail about this UHC. Just remember, universal means what? Everywhere, everyone. This remember. Universal means, just a second. Yeah. Universal healthcare. That is a present thing you need to know. It is everywhere. Even if you go to Australia, America, Canada, Africa, London, India, anywhere. So everywhere, everyone. This is the concept of this universal health coverage or healthcare. Now, what is this says that throughout this world, anybody, like everywhere, anyone. So if they go, they should be able to get this basic health services. Basic health services. Now, how do we get this basic health service? What is the approach? Again, we will go back to our primary health care only. Provide immunization, provide nutritional advice. So, all this mother's child service, everything should be provided. So, through primary health care. So, this is a current concept, that is universal health coverage, and it will be provided through which one, students? Again, through primary health care. Now they are saying that what are the advantages of primary health care? So higher coverage. Many people will be covered at the primary level itself, and cost of getting this treatment is very less, because at the initial level only, if you treat the level, then it won't magnify. So disease may be very early stage, and if you treat it here, fine. You don't get into this higher stages of the advanced stage of disease. If you reach this advanced stage, what happens? Lot of money should be spent on this advanced stage. So we don't want all this. So the cost of treatment will be very much less if you try to cut out the problem here only. Now remember this third point: out of the pocket expenditure, OP we call it as out of the pocket expenditure households. Now students, I want to tell you is that uh, have you all heard about this one? Sustainable developmental goals.
Yes, ma'am.
So here in this, like globally, they said that there are some 17 goals they have created. In this 17 goals, one of the goal they say that health is very important. So universally, every people should ultimately lead a healthy life. So to lead a healthy life, some 17 goals they said. In that, one of the goal is health. Now they said that many people are not able to lead the healthy life because they are facing with the problem of poverty. Why this poverty they are facing? Because if any problem, health problem occurs, all the money whatever they have accumulated, it will be spent on this health problem only. Like if at all somebody gets some diarrheal disease, they will be spending extremely on this diarrheal disease. Also lot of expenditure is done on this what health problem only. So because of this expenditure, the person is not able to save, and he will become further poor and poor. That is, it is leading to the problem of what? Poverty. Now, what is this primary healthcare it is doing? Since it is providing the health service at the very initial level only, so what is happening? The amount that is spent on the healthcare is reduced. Yes. So now what will happen? Little bit he will spend on health, and he will become healthy, and there will be lot of savings. Savings will be where, students? It will be a lot of savings will be there for the person, and these savings he can use for education purpose. He can educate his children, or he can educate himself, and he can do it for other skill development. So many things, additional things he can spend this money. Yes. But if you spend all your money on this health, the person will become poor. So primary healthcare is helping the people to reduce what? Poverty. So if the question is asked, what is the importance of primary healthcare? It helps in reduction of poverty. Yes, say yes. Yes, indirectly it is helping to reduce poverty. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, as I said you just before only, that this primary healthcare helps in promoting the goal number 3 of the sustainable developmental goal. So, what is the goal number 3? That is, there are sustainable developmental goals means what? It is a global goal. Universally throughout the world, some 17 goals are there. In that, the third goal, it talks that every people should have a health and well-being with a financial protection. With a financial protection. Yes. Now, to attain this particular goal, our primary healthcare is helping us. Like, for example, if you give immunization to the child won't get affected with all those diseases, and child will be healthy, right? So, no further money is spent on the unwanted diseases. Now, lower rates of mortality, because our primary healthcare is reducing the maternal mortality rates, and it is also reducing the infant mortality rates. So, ultimately, health outcomes will be better. And this best example is United Kingdom. So United Kingdom, or UK, so there they are very well running this primary health care. So there they have properly drastically noticed a reduced maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate. And very important is that it also provides the universal health coverage at the primary level for PHC. Just now I told you, universal health coverage. So this universal health coverage is provided at the primary health level. Now, another thing is that 51% of the government spends on the primary health care, but this proportion has to be increased to 66%, and this has been suggested in the National Health Policy. Now, and very important MCQ question can be asked for you. Like, till date, like very recently, maybe till 2017, the government is spending how much, students? Nearly 50% or 51% of its finances or budget on the primary health care. Now, government, as per this national health policy, it is saying that please increase your funding on this primary health care, and you raise it to 61%. I mean 66%, so that you strengthen the primary health centers. Yes. And they also
Yes.
said that we need to see that the state government need to actively participate in strengthening this primary health centers. So these are all the various components, principles, and what are the advantages of the primary health center, right? Our primary health center is helping for universal health coverage. It is also helping to reach the sustainable developmental goal number 3, that is health and this thing family welfare, and also to like contribute for the financial problems also. So these are all the general aspects about the primary health care. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
uh, Next thing is that shall I continue tomorrow or is it enough for you students?
Ma'am, tomorrow.
Please continue, ma'am.
I'll continue,
What?
fine. Okay.
Ma'am, we have our iftar this time, so
Yeah,
we
that is
can't
what I
continue.
wanted to. So tomorrow shall I continue then?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
time should
I'm at 6 o'clock. I'm at
6
6.
o'clock, right? Yes. So tomorrow 6 o'clock we'll meet then.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Everyone got all of you are clear with the concept.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll continue with the further discussion. Tomorrow I'll add upon this all this health committee, that is Srivatsa committee, Bohr committee, Mukherjee committee, and some recent committees also. Then we will solve some MCQs related to all these things. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. See you all tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo, we'll all meet tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Bye.